US will ensure that Ukraine is protected now and in the future. Vietnamese instant noodles removed from EU list of food safety control. Enhancing investment attraction in industrial clusters in localities.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. And here we go, the first headline of the show. The U.S. President Joe Biden said that the U.S. and other countries just signed security agreements so that Ukraine can defend itself now and deter potential attacks in the future.
Speaking after signing a bilateral security agreement with Ukraine, U.S. President Joe Biden said, "The United States will help ensure that Ukraine can do both, not by sending American troops to fight in Ukraine, but by providing weapons and ammunition, expanding intelligence sharing, and training Ukrainian troops, among other efforts." However, the U.S. leader once again affirmed that Washington does not support Kiev using long-range weapons to attack inside Russia, even after he recently allowed Ukraine to carry out limited short-range attacks across its border with Russia.
Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah group said it fired waves of rockets and drones on 9 Israeli military locations, increasing hostilities at the border southern Lebanon.
Lebanese media said Hezbollah launched at least 100 rockets and 30 UAVs into Israeli territory, marking the group's largest single-day raid since fighting between the two sides broke out last October. One of the targets was an Israeli base that Hezbollah said housed an intelligence headquarters, responsible for the assassinations, by the Israeli army. Hezbollah emphasized that this is part of the moves in response to Israel's killing of the group's senior commander on June 11. Right after that, early this morning, an Israeli response airstrike on a building east of the Lebanese port city of Tyre left many civilians dead.
The chairman of Provincial People's Committee of Nghệ An Province, Mr. Nguyễn Thị Minh Khai, just chaired a working session with a number of departments, sectors, and the district Hoàng Mai Thao on the implementation of a number of industrial park projects in Nghệ An Province.
The Loc Industrial Park Infrastructure Investment and Business Project, Phase 1, has a scale of 500 hectares in the communes of Dien Lo, Dien Phu and Dien Loc of Dien Chau District. At this time, Dien Chau District has recovered over 300 hectares of land. The total approved land clearance compensation amount is 481 billion Vietnamese dongs. For the remaining 197 hectares, the locality is focusing on preparing recovery documents and publicizing compensation plans. As for Hoang Mai 2 Industrial Park, the project scale is nearly 335 hectares, implemented in Kinh Vinh Commune, Hoang Mai Town. Currently, the Land Clearance Council of Hoang Mai Town is conducting a review to determine land origin and land recovery rate, issued a decision approving the price of 52 plots of land with an area of 37.8 hectares. However, the most difficult task is determining the origin, land use process and related records. The chairman of the Provincial People's Committee requested provincial departments and branches, especially the two districts of Dien Chau and Hoang Mai Town, to fiercely focus on carrying out tasks. Propaganda and advocacy followed by legal measures for people to agree and comply. Southeast Economic Zone Management Board, Departments of Agriculture and Rural Development, Departments of Natural Resources and Environment, Construction, Finance, coordinate to remove current problems, ensuring handover of the site to investors on schedule.
Coming up are some updated news.
Vietnamese instant noodles imported in the European Union have been removed from the list of food safety control at border gate. The official Gazette of the European Commission recognizes that the quality of Vietnamese instant noodles meets the food safety and hygiene standards of the European Union. With the decision announced on June 12, Vietnamese instant noodles imported into the European market will no longer be inspected and no longer need to be accompanied by a food safety certificate issued by the Vietnamese side. The regulations take effect from July 2.
The NHA Trang Sea Tourism Festival 2024 themed NHA Trang Bay Sparkling Pearl opened in NHA Trang City, the South Central Province of Khan Hoa, on June 13th evening. The event, the second of its kind, aims to honor the beauty of NHA Trang Bay, contributing to popularizing the beauty, potential, and strengths of NHA Trang. The 4-day festival, from June 13th to 16, features a string of cultural and sports activities, including a 200-pavilion fair showcasing tourism products and cuisine.
On June 12, in the Ho Chi Minh Trail area of Than Thuy Commune, Than Trung District, Vinh City Police coordinated with Than Trung District Police and Border Guard Station of Than Thuy Border Gate to successfully controlled and arrested the subject Zia Son Zay, born in 1990, residing in Vieng Thong District, Boricameksi Province, Laos. The confiscated evidence included a backpack containing 0.3 kg of methamphetamine and 170,000 synthetic drug pills, 20 kg of various drugs, along with a number of other related evidence. Continuing to expand the investigation, on June 13, the Special Investigation Team arrested Le Ngoc Duong, born in 1990, residing in Vinh City, Nha An. Currently, the case is being further investigated.
Now let's move to today's story. In Nghệ An, to increase the investment attraction in industrial clusters at district level, departments, branches, and localities are focusing on perfecting planning, promoting administrative reform, and effectively implementing infrastructure construction investment support policies to call for the businesses.
According to the plan to develop industrial clusters integrated into the provincial planning approved by the Prime Minister, by 2030 the province will have 56 industrial clusters, and by 2050 there will be 71 industrial clusters. However, to date, only 26 industrial clusters have been established and have investors. Among them, there are only 6 industrial clusters which businesses are the infrastructure investors. Investment in developing industrial clusters is mainly concentrated in the delta areas, near urban areas. In mountainous districts, there is potential in raw material areas and human resources, but they do not have the advantage of infrastructure connection, so most industrial clusters that have been planned for many years still cannot attract investment, especially infrastructure investment.
We have reserved land funds to call for investors and proactively work with investors to introduce the potential of district. We have also promoted administrative reform to create the most favorable conditions for investors and hope that the province has a specific mechanism for mountainous districts.
Currently, departments, branches and localities in the province are making efforts to mobilize and prioritize attracting businesses with capacity and experience in investing in construction and trading in infrastructure of industrial clusters of which planning has been approved. For industrial clusters in difficult or extremely difficult socio-economic areas that cannot attract businesses, they will consider and decide to assign a public service unit to have the suitable ability to be an investor in the construction of technical infrastructure, in order to create favorable premises for businesses and business establishments to engage in concentrated production.
Previously, there were 53 industrial clusters, many of which had small areas. We have reviewed and selected industrial clusters with large areas to facilitate investment attraction.
In order to form a sustainable industrial ecosystem, the development of industrial parks and industrial clusters must be paid much attention while minimizing approval of investment policies for industrial production projects outside of industrial parks and industrial complexes to ensure environmental problems. And to have a synchronous technical infrastructure system, localities need to promote administrative reform in a substantive way, while exploiting the revenue source to allocate resources to build a connecting infrastructure system, creating a clean space to call for businesses.
The last story just ended our program today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye and see you later.